So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Michelle.
Oh, boy. Okay. Thank you. So 11 days ago, I went on a trip with my son, Sammy, to Berwick, Pennsylvania. And I want to tell you a little bit about Berwick, and I want to tell you a little bit about Sammy. Sammy is my 28-year-old son who has autism. And he's moderately affected. He can talk, but he gets these incredible obsessions. One of the obsessions is he really loves video stores. And he doesn't understand the rules of economics, that people aren't getting videos anymore. They're getting Comcast and on demand and streamed in, and they're not buying videos. But that doesn't make any sense to him. He just wants the video stores. He's very upset about it. He also doesn't shave or cut his hair except once a year, and he marks it on the calendar, and he will not cut his hair or shave his beard until that day. So he's quite large. He's about 6 feet tall, about 240 pounds, with a huge beard, blonde curly hair, and talking about videos all the time. About 9 months ago, he had made up his mind. He's very into Google Earth, and he does research, and he found out that the last Hollywood video store is in Berwick, Pennsylvania. And at the time, he asked me to go. I'm like, sure, whatever, you know. And he said, December 8th, we're going to go to Berwick, Pennsylvania. What time on December 8th are we going to go to Berwick, Pennsylvania? And I'd be like, I don't know, 3 o'clock, and God, forget about it. And, well, the date got closer and closer. He'd call me at work 3-4 times a day in meetings, text me, you know, when are we going to Berwick, Pennsylvania? And I told him, you know, 3 o'clock, I made a commitment. And part of it is, he doesn't get out of the house much, and he doesn't like to travel. So this is my way to get him out to see the world. So I come home from work, I race home from work, I get there at 3 o'clock. He is there with his bag packed, my bag packed, jumps into the car, and we're driving the 8.5 hours to Berwick, Pennsylvania, on December 8th. And we're driving, and, you know, how many more miles till Berwick, Pennsylvania? When are we going to go to Berwick, Pennsylvania? When are we going to get? And we ended up stopping in lovely Du Bois, Pennsylvania, because it just took us too long, and we stayed. And we were going to go the next day on Saturday morning, the 9th, to Berwick, Pennsylvania. And we get up and we go the 2 hours to Berwick, Pennsylvania. Now, I should have done research ahead of time to learn more about where we were going. And I have my MapQuest, and we're driving. It's off of Route 80. It's like near 45 minutes away from Scranton. And we get off, and we're driving through these towns, and it's one of these Pennsylvania towns where the houses are too close to the road, and it's really it's a distressed town. It's a poor town, and I'm looking around, and a lot of the guys look exactly like my son Sam. They're about 240 pounds with beards and lots of hair, and he fit right in. I was sort of getting a little concerned. I saw a lot of Confederate flags, a lot of "Don't Tread on Me" flags, a lot of Trump signs, and I'm sort of a little uneasy, like, what is this town? So we go through, and they say, go a half a mile this way, 80 feet that way, and Sam's like, when are we going to get there? When are we going to get there? He's so anxious to get there. He wants to get there exactly at 2 o'clock, and I'm trying to follow the directions. And we go through the little town and think it's going to be in their downtown area, but we go through the downtown, through some back alleys, through this and that. We go past an industrial park. We get to this really kind of shady part of town. There's a lot of broken down, you know, trucks and cars, and like this little strip mall, and there's the Hollywood video. And before I could even park, Sam jumps out of the car, and he runs in before I could get there. So I park the car, and I go in, and he's up at the front of the store, and he's like, I want a strawberry shortcake. And then the guy's looking at him, and then all the TVs have like wrestling shows on, and the young man is looking at him really suspiciously that my grown son, who looks very normal, is demanding strawberry shortcake. And then he goes, and what's your name? What age are you? Which is a question he asks everybody when he meets them. And he's looking very suspiciously, and I come running, and I said, oh, we have just driven 8.5 hours, 500 miles to get here from Detroit. Now he's looking at me like, who the hell are you? What is out? And I'm like, we just want to rent a couple of videos. And he looks at me, he goes, we don't rent to out-of-towners. And Sam's like, what? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm starting to get, don't you realize my son has been talking about this for 9 months, and he just wants to come here and rent a video, because there's no rental places around anymore, and he's just looking at me like I'm insane, and I'm looking like him like he's insane. And I turn around and I realize it's a porno place. And strawberry shortcake was not the same strawberry shortcake my son Sam had in mind. Well, in April, we're going to Sandy, Oregon, to the last Blockbuster video. And I will do my research. Thank you.